We're also now learning that Whitaker has prejudged the results of the Mueller investigation itself. Betsy Woodruff of the Daily Beast is reporting that in a radio interview in June of last year, Whitaker, who now oversees the Russian probe, comes to the conclusion that the president did not collude with Russia. Let's watch.
The truth is there was no collusion with the Russians in the Trump campaign. There was interference by the Russians into the election, but that is not the collusion with the campaign. And that's where the left seems to be just combining those two issues. And the last thing they want right now is the truth to come out, and the fact that there is not a single piece of evidence that demonstrates that the Trump campaign had any illegal or even improper relationships with Russians. But I mean, it's that simple.
Well, it's part of an emerging body of evidence revealing Whitaker's true feelings about the Mueller probe itself. Not only that, but Whitaker has also worked for and maintains a friendship with a key witness in the Russia investigation, former Trump advisor Sam Clovis, who's testified before the Mueller grand jury. And now Democrats, as well as several legal experts, say that questions about Whitaker's impartiality should bar him from overseeing the investigation of the president. However, according to the Washington Post, Whitaker has no intention of recusing himself from overseeing the special counsel probe, according to people close to him, who added they do not believe he would approve any subpoena, catch this, of President Trump as part of that investigation. He'd be against any subpoena of the president. The question tonight is, will the president get away with all this? I'm joined now by former Congresswoman Elizabeth Holtzman, a member of the Judiciary Committee during Watergate, and author of a new book, The Case for Impeaching Trump. Bret Stephens is, of course, a columnist with the New York Times. Robert Costa is national political reporter with the Washington Post. And Betsy Woodruff broke that story tonight for the Daily. Betsy, thank you for leading us off tonight. What do you got on this guy, Whitaker? It seems like he's been auditioning is a pretty good word, for auditioning for the role of Trump protector in the role of acting attorney general.
That's certainly the view within the Justice Department. One important piece of context to bear in mind as Whitaker has now risen to and taken power within DOJ is that he and Rod Rosenstein, the deputy attorney general who was supervising the Mueller probe until Whitaker took Sessions' old job, don't really get along, according to a host of officials in the DOJ that my colleague Aaron Banco and I spoke with yesterday in the hours after Whitaker took that position. Rosenstein and Whitaker are not on the same page on a variety of issues. In terms of their personalities, our understanding is that they just don't mesh, and having those two people running this department at this time has led to a lot of friction. Additionally, of course, Rosenstein is a lifelong DOJ employee. He's been scrupulous about trying to appear to be by the book, trying to bend over backwards to comply with rules. Whitaker, in the meantime, as we reported just about an hour ago, has said just last year that he had already forejudged the conclusions of the Mueller probe. He already claimed that this probe, which he is now supervising, was essentially without merit. And that's something that without a doubt will rankle not only career officials in the department, but also people fairly high up who have to work with Whitaker day to day.
Let me go to Robert. Robert, you're the Trump watcher for me, and I think that he's got steel ones to pull this off. I mean, it's unbelievable. He didn't go to Rosenstein. Everybody on the planet said he's got to go to Rosenstein as the fallback if he gets rid of Sessions. Out of nowhere, he picks in this guy who auditioned for the job of Trump protector for months. He got the job. How come we all thought he couldn't do this? And now he's just done it in our face. And nobody is trying to really stop him from doing this. He's taking control of his own investigation of him. It's all in his control now. It's breathtaking. And nobody in the Republican Party or in the Democratic Party has stood up and said, we're going to stop this. This will not stand. No one is saying this about his picking of Whitaker. How come?
Well, Democrats are certainly calling for his recusal.
Of course they're calling for that. Is so whiffy. Well, I don't know what the word is. Of course he's not going to recuse himself. He took the job not to recuse himself. Why would they be calling for him to do it? He's now the acting attorney general. He doesn't have to listen to the Democrats.
Well, they're going to have to make a choice. Are they going to call for the president's impeachment for this kind of move?
Do you think they will?
Someone who has
Do you really think they will for picking the guy he wants as attorney general? That's impeachable.
We haven't seen that kind of message yet from the Democrats. In fact, the Democratic leadership is talking about possible deals with the president.
Okay, I'm going to go Liz Holtzman. I mean, I'm not saying anybody in the past is better than today, but I have never seen such wet liberalism. It's all wet and gooey. Gee whiz, please recuse yourself. How about using the power given to you by your office and stopping this? And he's picked his guy to take. He's not going to answer questions. Giuliani's working in the back room. Chris Christie wants to be the full-time attorney general. They're all in this together. They're not going to give it away. They got it.
Right.
And he lost 35 to 40 seats in the House, and he's still grabbing for power.
It's not an issue of weak liberalism. It's just weakness.
It's weakness.
It's just weakness, because this is something that affects Republicans, Democrats, Independents. Are we a banana republic? Do we have a president of the United States who can stop investigations into himself, his family, his friends?
Well, when you got bananas for the opposition, you got a banana republic.
Well,
because I don't hear anybody saying we're going to fight this in the courts.
It needs to be fought in the courts, and it's not clear who's got the power to do it. There are a few other questions here. Is the appointment even legal? Forget about recusal.
Okay, wait a minute. You say legal. That means the Supreme Court that he's just stacked with his guy, with his deciding vote, is going to pull away his new acting attorney. You really think this Supreme Court, led now by the decisive vote of Brett Kavanaugh, who also was picked because he's a Trump guy, who believes in a broadening. This guy, Brett Stevens, and this guy, Matt Whitaker, all believe in strengthening the power of the president.
Well, I mean, look. We're going to find out if Whitaker actually tries to quash the investigation. Look, the good news is that the Mueller probe is far...
How about starving it? Forget squashing it. How about getting rid of their computers and their staff?
There are all kinds of ways. You're absolutely right. There are all kinds of guerrilla-style tactics that Whitaker can employ to basically destroy the Mueller investigation. I don't think it's going to be so easy for him to do that. Why? First of all, because the investigation is very far along. We're now 18, 19 months into it. Secondly, Congress is soon going to have subpoena powers to find out what Mueller knows. And thirdly...
Who will enforce those subpoenas? What court?
Well, maybe.
You think Kavanaugh is his first major act in history?
I don't know.
It's going to be the fifth vote for supporting.
You should know this. Congress can actually haul someone who's in contempt of Congress.
Well, they're going to send the sergeant at arms?
You betcha.
All right, okay, Elizabeth, that's what I'm sorry. They're going to send the sergeant at arms, a political appointee, to go to the White House and demand the president show up.
Look, Congress has subpoena powers, and if Trump wants to make himself look guilty, the quickest way he can do that is trying to quash the report. I think Robert Mueller has sufficient political credibility, precisely because Democrats did make such gains in the House, that it's dangerous for Trump simply to try to kill the Mueller probe. It simply makes him look guilty.
Let's go back to how clever this president is. And you don't have to like him or even respect him. That's easy. But look what he's pulling off here. He actually is pulling an Incheon landing like MacArthur in Korea. I'm going in behind Rosenstein. I'm going to make this whole probe by Mueller ineffective because I've got the attorney general on my team now. In a 2017 interview, just months after Mueller began his probe, this new guy, Matt Whitaker, said it was ridiculous the Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein appointed a special counsel. He said it was ridiculous that there even was a probe by Mueller. That's the new Attorney General of the United States, ladies and gentlemen. Here he goes.
Sort of, for whatever reason, Rod Rosenstein was determined that the Department of Justice couldn't handle this in their ordinary course of work, which I think was ridiculous. I think it smells a little fishy, but I just hope it doesn't turn into a fishing expedition.
And in a radio when I helped Sean Hannity got this get, Whitaker said that Trump's request of former FBI Director James Comey to drop the investigation of Michael Flynn was not, catch this word, not obstruction of justice. And here comes Matt Whitaker, the new Attorney General of the United States. Here he goes.
Let's assume that the president asked him to stop investigating Flynn. That doesn't rise to the level of obstruction of justice, and it doesn't sound to me, based on what's been reported, that Jim Comey, as he sat there, believed that the president was telling him to stop the investigation.
Liz Holtzman, I don't know the law like you do. Obstruction of justice, the president may have done it again, but they're not going to stop him, it seems, because it is within his legal power to pick an acting attorney general after he got Jeff Sessions to, at your request, Mr. President, I'm resigning, creating an opening for his guy.
Well, but if the objective here by Trump was to stop the Mueller investigation, prevent his son from being indicted, prevent Roger Stone from being indicted, preventing himself from being named in some kind of indictment, then it's definitely an impeachable offense. I don't know if it's prosecutable.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.